Now You Know BC is brought to you by Return It. Don't trash your empty beverage containers. Return them for the deposit refund.
Welcome to Now You Know BC. I'm Bob Kronbauer, also known as BC Bob, and on this show I introduce you to interesting people, places to go, things to see, things that have happened in the past. You will hear our collective stories, and this week I'm telling you some about skateboarding in BC. From the oldest skate shop in Canada to a non-profit group that brings the joy of skating to kids on Indigenous reservations across the country and across the states, to a wild story about a pro skateboarder who once punched a kid at an international contest held here in Vancouver. Did you know that the oldest skateboard shop in Canada is located on Vancouver's west side? It's true. PD's Hot Shop has had a number of different addresses in the city over the years, and as the time of this, it's located at 10th and Alma. The shop was founded by brothers Peter and Rick Dukeman in 1976. They also started the iconic skateboard brand Skull Skates just 2 years later, right here in Canada. And when he moved away to chase his dreams of becoming a movie star, Rick left the company wholly in the hands of his brother Peter, known as PD, and Rick sadly passed away in 2015 at the age of 62. PD has been running the store and the brand for decades, and they're about to celebrate their 50th anniversary in business. That is so long, and their longevity could be attributed to their punk rock ethos, the fact that most of their products are made in Canada, and PD's DIY mindset. In 2022, he opened up a second PD's Hot Shop location on Vancouver Island in the small community of Parksville, and the brand Skull Skates continues to sell in shops around the world. And I'm sorry to make this all about me, but this is my show and I do what I want. So I'd like to let you know that I designed the very first Skull Skates website in the mid-1990s, back when webmaster was an actual occupation that people did. Completely unrelated to this, I was also present when a professional skateboarder punched a kid in the face at a contest at the P&E in the 90s. It happened at Slam City Jam in 1999, and I had moved on from working retail and was employed as a journalist. The punch happened right in front of me, and the guy who landed it was named Moses Itkonen.
Hey, everyone out there want to say hi to Moses? Hey, say hi to everyone. Hello, everybody.
A world-renowned professional from Vancouver who was competing in the North American Pro Skateboarding Championships being held at the Pacific Coliseum. And in 1999, he was skating for Powell Skateboards, and he and some of his friends had just started a fairly new clothing company called RDS that they were promoting. The brand is, of course, still around today. During a practice run, Moses got up on one of the obstacles with a lacrosse stick and started firing free balled-up RDS t-shirts into the crowd. Most people were loving it, but for some reason, one fan caught a t-shirt, threw it back at him, and it hit him right in the head. He had suffered multiple concussions prior to this contest, and he says that maybe some unresolved anger issues caused him to snap at that moment. He jumped over the fence surrounding the course, ran up into the stands, and punched the person that he thought threw the shirt right in the face. Soon after that, he was ejected by security. And the following year, his friends wore t-shirts that said, "Where's Moses?" on them as a sort of form of protest. But what he tells me is that he thinks the ban was justified. It's been 25 years, and Moses says that he's pretty happy to have made it out of his younger years with his freedom and his mental health intact. He also says that he regrets the punch, and that a bruised ego is not an excuse for that level of aggression. Slam City Jam was a huge part of skateboarding in Vancouver in the 90s. Moses loved competing in it, and he says that people would love for an event of that scale and importance to return to our city one day. I agree, and now you know. Each week I show you an artifact that I think is an important part of BC's history, and today I got my hands on a few of them from the very same contest where that pro skateboarder punched that kid in the face. This program from the 1999 edition of Slam City Jam was given to me by my friend Cameron McLeod, who you may recognize as the voice of Andar in the new show Lana Longbeard.
I've decided you're finally ready for me to pass on the only weapon you'll ever need, the Mighty Hammer!
as well as other TV roles, including a commercial I once directed for Toyota Pacific where he played a camping expert. This VHS tape and this poster were loaned to me by a woman who runs Antisocial Skateboard Shop on Main Street in Vancouver and who actually got 5th place in the women's contest in 1998. It says it right here in this program, Michelle Pizzell. Thank you, Michelle. Her business partner, pro skateboarder Rick McCrank, is featured on the poster, and this video is one in a series that were produced by 411 Video Magazine, which came out every month on VHS and eventually on DVD from 1993 until 2005. Look up Vancouver 1999 411 VM on YouTube, and you can take a time machine back to a period when we hosted one of the largest skateboard contests in the entire world. We're gonna go to break, and when we come back, Rose Archie from Nations Skate Youth is gonna talk to me about her work. Welcome back to Now You Know BC. Today we're talking about skateboarding in British Columbia. My guest is Rosie Archie, a leader in the skateboarding community in Vancouver and beyond. Rosie is a member of the T'Eskin First Nation on Secwepemc territory. She rides for Colonialism Skateboards, and she's here to talk to me about the nonprofit she runs called Nations Skate Youth. Thanks for joining me, Rosie.
Hey, thanks for having me.
What is Nations?
Nations Skate Youth, an organization, a nonprofit that I started in my living room. We wanted to go to communities and bring skateboarding, talk about mental health, and that's how it started.
Cool. In 2020, and you do workshops all over the place?
Yeah, so our workshops, we started off in Fort St. John. We ended up going through Alberta, Hawaii, the Yukon, California, New Mexico, Arizona.
What does a workshop typically look like when you land?
A workshop is so beautiful. It goes by so quick. We do a circle talk. I have Dustin Henry and Tristan Henry that have been doing them with me for this year. And we just start off with our circle talk about why we're doing this. My message to the youth is to be proud of who you are and where you come from, to not be ashamed to be Indigenous, to reach out when you need some help, and most importantly, just believe in yourself. I think skateboarding gives a lot of that.
I grew up skateboarding, and I've heard that so many times, people saying skateboarding saved my life, and I can identify with that. I don't know if it saved my life, but it definitely put me on a good path, and it put me in a community, and I feel definitely more resilient as a result. Do you bring kids skateboards that they keep after a lot of the time?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We do a lot of organic fundraising, which people donate to us. They do fundraisers for us.
Yeah. You're a pro skateboarder. Tristan and Dustin, who you mentioned, both are competitive skateboarders. This is your board for Colonialism Skateboards.
Yes.
That's awesome. So kids are not just, you're not just showing up with boards, you're showing up with knowledge of skateboarding and pride in that already, being like, hey, we're pro skateboarders. This is what you can do. Definitely.
I feel like that's something that we want to show the youth is they can make it. To dream big, whatever it is. Skateboarding doesn't have to be skateboarding. Joe Buffalo, he always tells the kids you can be the filmer, the photographer, the guy who makes the videos, the person who makes the music in the videos, and it's just make the clothing. So it's kind of we round that with culture. You can be the beater, the drummer, the knowledge keeper, the language keeper.
You don't have to be the chief. You don't have to be in charge. You don't have to be the pro skateboarder.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Exactly. So we kind of a lot of my story with my sister growing up, we would hitchhike around. So
Where did you hitchhike to?
To Williams Lake. If a car was going towards Kamloops, we would go to Kamloops, whichever way we would go. I
grew up in Vernon, and we would skate Kamloops. We would probably skate at the same park along the river there. We would drive to that park, and it just got us out of the house. Yeah. And we met other people. Our paths didn't cross, but I met so many people that way.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that the whole thing with skateboarding is you can do it on your own. You can go to a skate park and meet people, or you could go to a new town and you'll always see a skater.
Do you keep in touch with any of the kids? Like, is this sticking? Like, it was what we're talking about, like, oh, it makes community and you make friends. Like, do any of the kids reach out?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Social media is great for that. Seeing the progress of some kids is really awesome. Hearing the progress from like other people when the communities like ask us like, hey, can you come back?
Cool.
And you know, that list is very long. Like our wait list to go to other communities is getting longer. So yeah, we are hitting communities that are definitely like the impact is in real time, and that's really amazing when a parent can come up to you and say like, I haven't seen my kid smile like that before, or my kid has no friends and like they made friends today. It's truly special what we're doing.
That is wonderful. How can people help?
You know, we're always taking donations, like monetary, anything, $2, $5 goes a long way with us. They could come to an event. They can help us spread the word.
Thanks so much for joining me. If you want to help out, here's the website. Go donate some money. Maybe you could donate some skateboards. Nina is on the street talking to people about skateboarding when we get back. Welcome back to Now You Know BC. We got Nina out on the street getting people's thoughts. Nina.
I'm Nina Savage, and this is Street Survey. We're here at One Love Indoor Skate Park to learn more about skateboarding. So when did you start skateboarding?
I think last February.
Well, I started skateboarding when I was about 5, so now I'm 45, so it's been about 40 years. I became professional at around the age of 15, so now I'm retired and doing this for the community.
What was the hardest part of learning?
Trying to get on the skateboard.
When I grew up, it was a little bit more like rebellious. People thought it was a rebellious sport, so we would get kicked out of everywhere. But now it's in the Olympics, so you know, there's a different kind of perception of skateboarding. It's more accepted now.
Yes, I'm having a lot of fun.
What's the hardest part?
Sometimes doing the drop-ins.
Anywhere you go in the world and you meet a skateboarder, it's almost like family. So it's something that we relate. So there's different types of people, different ages, but everybody gets along because we have something in common.
Children don't seem to have any fear. They pick things up very quickly and recover from their falls fast. So it's fun.
Do you have friends who skateboard?
He's my friend.
Yeah, did you meet him here?
Yeah.
Well, I did it a little bit when I was a kid, but I don't think I got to do it as much as I wanted to. And I wanted her to be able to have the option later on in life that she could always do it, and hopefully there's transferable skills or benefits from this.
I like the idea that if you learn to skateboard, you probably could learn to snowboard, you could probably learn to surf. But skateboarding itself, I think, is just such an art. It's so beautiful to watch. It's like a dance. It's amazing, really, what people do.
Just wanted to have something that my daughter could do, an activity that would challenge her and that she could learn, and just something that'd be beneficial for her now and until she gets older.
Your top 3 words would you use to describe skateboarding culture, like coming here?
The best thing ever.
That's pretty good.
We've made a lot of skateboarders because they're a little scared at first. And then what we do is we let them borrow the equipment so they don't have to purchase everything. And so learning, doing lessons, all of that kind of gives you that extra confidence to start and, you know, get going.
Use different protection helmets, knee pads, elbows, etc. when you're starting, especially when they're starting out, and then eventually get the confidence. And yeah, but it's totally just like get a mentor, get someone that can guide you and help you with the process for sure. That's what we're here for at One Love, so it's good.
Do you think that more girls should get into skateboarding?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a great time here at One Love Indoor Skate Park, and we learned a ton about this awesome community. If you're thinking about learning how to skateboard, just do it.
We're going on a BC road trip from Coombs to Tofino on Vancouver Island. You might not even know where Coombs is, but if you're taking a ferry from Tawasin and driving to Tofino, you'll be passing right through it. It's right in the middle of Vancouver Island, and you're definitely gonna wanna stop at the Old Country Market here. You've probably seen these stickers on cars all over the place and wondered, what the heck is the deal with this goat pooping road sign sticker? That, my friends, is the official logo for Goats on the Roof, which is, we'll call it an attraction. That at the Old Country Market in Coombs, it's been there for a long time, and it actually won the best roadside attraction in British Columbia by Justin McElroy of CBC in 2020. In the spring and summer, they have literal goats that hang out on the roof of the marketplace here. You can't pet them, but they're there, and they're cute and weird, and you're gonna wanna stop, take a picture, then go into the market that has groceries. It has a gigantic gift shop where they sell more than stickers that show a goat pooping off of a roof. There's lots in there. Next stop is Cathedral Grove, where it's the only stand of old growth in BC that has a major highway running right through it, which is very convenient for you. But I mean, maybe not so much for the trees, I don't know. But there's a pull-out there where you can stop, use the washroom, and then walk down a boardwalk that they've recently built. You can look up at the amazing cedar and Douglas fir trees. They are huge. They're bigger than any trees you've ever seen, or I will give you your money back. Not far down the road from Cathedral Grove is the town of Port Alberni, and what I consider to be the best donut shop in all of British Columbia. It's called, wait for it, it's called The Donut Shop. It's located right on the water at the Old Quay. The donuts are inexpensive and delicious, and the best thing about this place is the atmosphere and the people. It's like stepping back into a time when everybody talked to their neighbors and had a gathering place to have a coffee and a donut and a chat. It's a really special place, and if you go there, please tell Sue I said hi. And soon enough, you'll arrive in Tofino. I've stayed at nearly all the fancy resorts here, and I'm gonna tell you just one of them today. They're all great, but most recently, I stayed at Pacific Sands. And again, I'm not gonna play favorites, but I've stayed here like 5 times. They have a bunch of different options for accommodations, from staying in a sort of hotel room, to studios, to full-on townhouses with private hot tubs on the patios. They've got a restaurant on the property that makes amazing fish and chips from locally caught lingcod. And if you wanna learn how to surf, there's an on-site surf school. They have everything. And as with all the resorts, they're located right on the beach, and one of the best things to do is simply walk along that beach, find shells, throw a stick for your dog if you have one, and ponder your poor life decisions and wonder why you don't live in Tofino. Go a little ways down the road for more great restaurants, which I'll tell you about in a future episode. Oh, and there's a skate park right in the middle of town. It's right across from my friend Jeremy Koreski's photo gallery, which you should definitely stop in at and buy a print from him. He is one of the best photographers in the entire province, if not the continent. Enjoy your BC road trip. Welcome back to Now You Know BC. Today's episode is all about skateboarding in BC. We're gonna do a giveaway, but first, I've got some more skateboarding stories to tell you. Did you know that on August 29th, 2013, the mayor of Vancouver made an official proclamation deeming it an appreciation day for a pro skateboarder? It's true. Then Mayor Gregor Robertson signed the official notice deeming it Rick Howard Appreciation Day. It was in celebration of an international skateboard superstar who grew up here and then moved on to California, where he started Girl and Chocolate Skateboards with film director Spike Jonze, fellow pro skateboarder Mike Carroll, and most importantly, certified genius Megan Baltimore, who is pretty much the only reason this company is still in business. And Rick Howard Day is, again, I'm sorry to make this all about me, but this is my show and I do what I want. I was the one who made this day happen. The way I did it was that I had an in at the mayor's office at the time, and Rick's company, who I used to work for when I lived in California, was about to celebrate its 20th anniversary. They invited me and a few other people who used to work in their art department to be in an art show where we were all tasked with designing a skateboard graphic to celebrate the occasion. When I worked at Girl and Chocolate Skateboards in the early 2000s, I designed mostly dumb stuff, honestly. This board was the first ever Ouija board for Eric Costin. This floating head board was for Rick McCrank. I designed a bunch of really dumb stuff, and I wrote a bunch of really dumb stuff for their website, crailtap.com. For the art show, which took place at Antisocial Skateboard Shop on Main Street in Vancouver, I wanted to do something extra special to celebrate the company's anniversary and to honor Rick, specifically because when I quit working there, I did it in a spectacular fashion and I burned a bridge, and Rick hated me for years, as he should have, and he didn't talk to me, and I wanted to apologize him and mend the fence. So I started by designing this board that says Rick Howard is awesome. And then I reached out to my contact at the mayor's office and I explained how Rick grew up here, how he went on to become a pro skateboarder, an international superstar, and an influential business owner, and that he continues to fly the flag in Vancouver as a goodwill ambassador around the world, which he still does. Even now, it's 12 years after this, after Rick Howard Appreciation Day. Another board I wanted to show you, which I had nothing to do with the creation of, but I believe to be the first Northwest Coast indigenous art that's been licensed for use on a professional model skateboard. I've never seen a pro commission a board like this before. We've seen this type of artwork before on boards many times. Sometimes it's been given the blessing by the artist who did it. Other times it's been appropriated, and we've never seen it before on a pro model. This is Chad Dixon's first board for Colonialism Skateboards, a skateboard company in Canada with a mission, and who my guest on the show earlier has a pro model board with. Their primary objective is to educate the public on elements and the history and culture of Indigenous peoples. And aside from Chad Dixon, whose board this is, and Rosie Archie and others, they also have Joe Buffalo on their team. Joe is a residential school survivor who went on to become a pro skateboarder. Tony Hawk was the executive producer on a documentary all about him and his journey to inspire kids everywhere. This is one of Joe's first boards. It is his residential school ID card. It's heavy. Chad Dixon is Tlingit from the Eagle Clan, and his uncle Tom Dixon did the artwork for that board that I just showed you. And it was released a couple years ago. You might be able to find it on eBay, but it's currently sold out in stores. I proudly keep one of these on the wall here on the set of the show, and one tucked away in my personal collection. And now you know the story behind it. I'm giving away this complete skateboard released by the guy who Vancouver's mayor once honored with his own day in the city, Rick Howard Appreciation Day. Remember? Come on, I just told you the story about him and his day. Girl Skateboards released this board recently. It's a Mike Carroll Pac-Man collaboration board, and if you want to buy it or other Girl and Chocolate skateboard products, you can find them at crailtap.ca. To enter to win this complete board setup, just sign up for my weekly newsletter at bcbob.ca, where I'll randomly be selecting a winner. That's the show for this week. Big thanks to Rosie Archie, everybody at Supra and crailtap.ca, Michelle Pizzell at Antisocial, Cameron McLeod, also known as, I don't know what his name is, he's on that show, Nina Savage and Derek Wong, and my editor, of everybody at CHEK. And lastly, thank you to the Vancouver Park Board guy who has to unlock the Mount Pleasant Skate Park every single morning of the year. I hope you learned something this week. And I hope maybe you've been sparked to go get on a skateboard and try it out, or pick up your old board and get back into it. For more stories, you can follow me on Instagram. Just look up BC Bob and watch more episodes of this show for free on CHEK Plus. Check out my merch at bcbob.ca, and I'll see you next week when we'll explore more stories about this great province of ours. And now you know BC.
Now you know BC is brought to you by Return It. Don't trash your empty beverage containers, return them for the deposit refund.